That's good.
Welcome everyone to Season 3, Episode 94 of the Premier Pod. I'm your host, Yash, joined by my co-host, Tyler Chan. In this episode, it is a special edition, spooky edition of the Premier Pod, throwing it back to, I don't think we did one last year, but I know we did one in our first season, spooky edition. This was back when we were both in
annual
college.
Spooky edition.
Yes, back when we were both in college in the first season. So that's shows you how long it's been. But this one we are recording on October 30th, literally October 30th at 8 p.m. So we are really close to October 31st, which of course is Halloween. So obviously Halloween's going to look a lot different this year with COVID and everything, but I hope that that fun and scary spirit is still within all of us this year. But looking at the spookiest thing we saw this weekend, or this past weekend at least, we have to mention the absolute stinker of the game of the, I guess like the biggest game of the weekend was the Manchester United Chelsea matchup at Old Trafford. Game finished 0-0. I don't think there's much to say then. This game was absolutely crap. And I think that's putting it lightly. It was crap. It was boring beyond belief.
It was something that I saw on Twitter that people were like, oh, can you call a 0-0 game like the worst kind of soccer game? And also the reverse is like, can you have such a thing as like a good 0-0 game? And in this case, I felt like it was both bad and and boring. So it's like this one was a double L is what I like to say. But yeah, it wasn't even a spooky weekend yet. It was just like it came a week early.
Yeah, it literally came. It was a stinker. We did not get treated. Like, you know, when you go to some of the neighborhoods and you get the nice, big, large, actual size candy. This is like the random value pack
toothbrush.
Candy. Yeah, toothbrush or an orange. Think of it as an apple.
Yeah. The house that has the orange or fruit is like, you forgot to get candy. So here's a banana, and then the next guy
bag
gets
of chips, maybe
a bag of chips. I will say there was a house in one of these neighborhoods that I trick or treated in called the Soda House, and
nice.
This person went to like Costco or whatever and bought like every single soda like you can imagine, and then he just has it laid out like a brick of like, or like a stock of candies like you would go see at like a gas station. It's like, all right, what do you want? And it's like pineapple Fanta, like some random Japanese sodas. Is like, it's crazy, and you just pick one. It's like, oh, cool. So
that's so random. I've never heard of that before. That's crazy.
This is a very long-winded analogy of this Man U versus Chelsea game being the trick, where it's not like that. It is the fruit. It is the toothbrush house. This is the dentist's house.
Yeah, this is definitely the house you don't want to bring when you're pouring out the candy at the end of the night. This is the one you definitely put in the give it away to someone, or let's just throw it out pile. This game was absolutely garbage. There's not much to say. We got to move on. We have the Champions League matches. Some of the ones we're going to focus on are Manchester United and Liverpool. Tyler, Liverpool did win 2-0, but it came at a cost. We won, but at what cost?
It cost Fabinho. Fabinho unfortunately got injured during this game. And now he's looking down in the heavens with Van Dijk at Reece Williams, the fifth string center back playing for Liverpool now, because Matip is also injured. So now it's just Joe Gomez and Reece Williams. Reece Williams, an academy product, just kind of came out of nowhere this season. And hopefully he can kind of carry the torch while Fabinho's resting his injury as well. But Fabinho won't be out the entire season. It'll be around maybe 3 to 5 weeks, but that's still a while since we're going to be missing. Like, we really, ironically enough, need like a Dejan Lovren or like Mamadou Sakho kind of player.
I was going to say, can you bring Lovren back on loan?
Yeah. Like that? It's like we just need someone, because if Reece Williams goes down at this point, it's like we're going to have to put like Nico Williams at center back, the backup right back or something, because like we literally have no one. So that was kind of a costly win against FC Midtjylland. But Diego Jota did get a pretty crucial goal, man of the match as well. But I would say it was a bittersweet kind of win, because now I don't know what we're going to do. It's just hopefully Reece Williams gets blessed by Van Dijk and Fabinho up there.
Yeah, the Liverpool injury record is definitely pretty spooky right now, if you must say. Trying to type back the Halloween
Grim Reaper
game.
Coming back and just slicing everyone. Gosh.
Yeah, someone's sus in the Liverpool squad.
Someone is sus. But at least your team, man, you went off.
I
Would say.
know they beat Leipzig at home at Old Trafford 5-0. Yeah, this game was crazy to think that Manchester United would beat RB Leipzig, which were one of the powerhouses last year in the Champions League 5-0. And how do you say the manager's name from Leipzig? You
Julian Nagelsmann.
Yeah, Nagelsmann. A lot of waves went out about his suit choice or choice of like his blazer choice for that match. It was very ugly. It was a bright blue, plaided, I think, or plated. It had like a bunch of patterns on it. Blazer did not look very good. Definitely something you'd probably wear for a Halloween party, not something you would wear to go manage RB Leipzig. I
don't know. I kind of like that though. It's
really?
like it's different from the usual. It's like the Bill Belichick of the sideline, except the complete opposite. Instead of wearing the shirt you wore the same 20 seasons, it's now.
I would
it's
say
like,
Simeone is like the Bill Belichick. All he does is wear that black, black on black.
Like, I bet his whole closet is just the same. It's like his costume for Halloween too is just the same. Dude, we're just bringing everything back to Halloween for this one.
I know. But United fans were definitely served up a treat. It was Marcus Rashford. He scored his first career hat trick or first senior hat trick for Manchester United. The first player to score a hat trick for Manchester United as a sub since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did it when he was a player at Manchester United. And I think Rashford is the quickest. The hat trick he scored was the quickest in Champions League history. So that's pretty cool too. And not to mention, it is also Marcus Rashford's birthday on Halloween. So tomorrow is his birthday. So
hey,
a lot of good things coming up on his birthday. So it's pretty cool. And he definitely treated fans and everyone he's helped to some great goals and to some great community service that he keeps doing. But yeah, it was a good win. United in this group of death, 2 wins in a row against PSG and Leipzig, 6 points. You couldn't ask for much more. It's crazy. It's actually insane how well United have been doing in the Champions League, I will say.
Yeah, so, not only Rashford, but like all the Premier League clubs even.
Yeah. Literally went 14. They scored, including Chelsea and City. The Premier League clubs in the Champions League this past Wednesday scored 14 goals and conceded 0. That's pretty good.
That's basically all you can ask for. It's just that's music to the Premier League or Premier Pod and Premier League as well.
I know the Premier League is probably just like dancing right now.
However, that can't really be said though in the Europa League because there's got to be one game we got to talk about. There's got to be one game. Sung Min, one of our listeners, is going to be not happy to hear this. Like I had to text him about it, but Tottenham, yes. Tottenham lost to Royal Antwerp. Yash, do you know what this team is or even where they play?
No, not a single clue.
I was asking Sung Min, the listener, I was just like, mate, explain, like, why, how? And he's like, I'm telling you, Royal Antwerp is going to win the Europa League and then the Champions League next season. And I said to him, if he's wrong, he's paying for Korean barbecue next time I see him. So I think I'm going to get some free Korean barbecue at this rate. But Tottenham, Gareth Bale's not really been living up to the hype right now. I'm not going to lie. That's just going to be the first thing I throw out there. Yeah. But for them to lose this game.
Dele Alli's been looking bad too.
Like he has fallen from grace.
I know. Literally went from being the next Mbappe to now being the next. Who'd be his comparison? Jordan Ibe, but not as bad as Jordan Ibe. I wouldn't even say Jordan Ibe. Who would be a good comparison to someone that was literally like almost supposed to be the next world-class player to now being some almost, I know it's bad to say, but mediocre.
It's not like Freddie Adu level. Like Freddie Adu is like literally like the pinnacle of overhyped.
Flop.
Yeah.
Next to Pelé.
I don't know. I can't even, would you even consider Dele Alli like average at this point?
I don't know. He's
below average.
Yeah, I think he's below average too because he can't really do much outside of just. I mean, he doesn't even do what he's supposed to do now. Good, such as scoring goals and creating chances. I think he almost like Jesse Lingard level at this point. You
Oh,
know,
I guess we pretty much nailed it. He's
Yeah.
Jesse Lingard 2.0
Tottenham.
of Tottenham. What?
Man, Mourinho had some savage comments. He basically said everyone keeps asking me why I don't play certain players, and now when I play them, and you see what they do, now hopefully you will stop asking me about them. That is classic Mourinho level banter right there. Just throwing fire into just literally just literally starting a fire
players.
within another fire. Like more fuel to that squad.
I love how he's like, it wasn't my fault. It was clearly the players that played. It was just me on the side that picked people. It wasn't me actually playing though. Gosh, that is. Imagine if your boss said that.
I would feel pretty bad about myself.
Like, imagine like your boss reporting to like the CEO or something. It's like, our quarter for like this kind of product, like it didn't go well. But it wasn't me. It was Yash. He was in charge of this particular product. I think that's why it went wrong. It's like, all right. It's like, but you hired him. It's like, yeah, but I didn't make it myself. It was him. Like,
yeah, it's like I may have had like an influence towards it, but I didn't do the final end product. That's not my fault.
That's a bad boss. Any listener, don't be like that when you're growing up and like managing people one day. You do not want that as a manager. But what was this post that he posted on social media?
He was just like, I'm upset and we're training tomorrow at like 11 a.m.
Like straight. I'm like, and then the picture of him was just him alone on the bus. I was like, what the heck? He posted that?
Yeah, I'm like, who took the picture? Or did he self-time himself?
He just self-timed it. He's just upset. Oh, gosh. I'm kind of... Having this Mourinho is funny, though. Like, when he's not your manager, it's the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah, when he is, it's like... It's definitely a whirlwind situation you're in when he is your manager. From personal experience, I will say.
Well, rip Tottenham. Hopefully, they bounce back from this. But
yeah, it's weird though. How did they lose? Like, how do you lose this game?
What a fall from grace as a team. Like, you went to the Champions League final in 2019, and here you are losing to Royal Antwerp in 2020.
Oh man, how the mighty have fallen. Well, more directed towards some of those players that were on the Tottenham side, but. It was a shock result for Tottenham in the Europa League. Arsenal picked up another big win, so they're kind of rolling in the Europa League. But gosh, it was weird. It was kind of a weird weekend for a lot of these Premier League teams, especially in the Europa League. But moving on to our special segment dedicated towards this, I guess, spooky edition Halloween episode is we are basically this is our title: Build Your Scariest Starting 11 in the Premier League. So it's going to be one starting 11 that Tyler and I are going to combine with. We have not written down our players because we want to keep it a surprise. So we are picking the starting 11 plus the manager. So it gives us 6 picks each. And in terms of formation, do you just want to do like what do you think is good? A simple 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2? What do you think? So
I'll say this. When you see a formation against like a player or like on a team, what scares you when you see it's like, all right, that
dang.
It's because I will say this is really weird. Like, I was talking to someone about how they think when they play soccer, and it's like, you just hype up everyone else. You just don't really kind of think about anything else. You just kind of help up, like, get everyone on your team ready to go, and then just kind of think about your own game. But for me, I have to look at like what's on paper. So like if I'm about to face a team in real life, I have to be like, all right, what's their formation? Like, what historically have they, like, who has scored historically? Like, who's the scary players? Like, who's the players you got to look out for? Who has the most yellow cards? Things like that. So I would say, like, this is kind of weird, but if I see a formation I'm not used to, that scares me.
Wow.
Like, if I see something where it's like, you usually see 4-4-2 or you usually see like 4-3-3. But if I see like a 5-3-2 or like a 3-5 or a 3-4-3, something like that, it's like, there's a reason for that. It's like, what's going on? So let's say this, Yash. Would you like to do a 3 in the back or a 5 in the back? I feel like 5 in the back is not as scary.
Yeah, let's do 3 in the back. Because I feel like 5, we could do 5, but I don't feel like there's enough. There are a lot of good defenders in the Premier League, but that would just be overtaking the squad.
That's true.
of what you could put in the attacking front.
All right, then we'll go 3-4-3. That would be my pick for scary formation.
Awesome. So I'll let you start off then with the. I guess we'll go goalkeeper. Like we're building an ultimate team side with unlimited coins.
It's like foot draft.
Yes.
Except it's real life. But
Yes.
all right. So
Goalkeeper.
we'll decide on this one together. Let's just do that. Because this one is there's only one position. And we have to think. It's like, who's the scariest keeper? When you just think of keepers, like who scares you in the Premier League? A lot of them actually seem nice to me.
Yeah.
It's like there's not really one that's like
Oh,
but
man.
if I were to pick one, I would. It's ironic, but I had to say Kepa because he's just like he's scary in two regards. One, his style of play, because it's like you never know whether he's going to concede a goal because of his tactics, and you never know if you try to sub him off if he's just getting upset with you and just do something petty and then just like injure one of your other players and just never gets off. So. That'd be my pick. That's just a quick one.
Okay. I was thinking Ederson because of how
the tattoos.
How unpredictable he can be too. He can like knock out some striker with his feet.
That's true.
Trying to go for the ball, but I'll go with Kepa. I'll go with Kepa.
Just because like he's just a volatile boy.
Yeah. So if we're doing Kepa, then I guess we have the three center backs. So I guess for right center back, if I'm thinking of a scary Premier League player right now, I'm gonna go Phil Jones.
Phil Jones.
Yes, he's
my
so
man
unpredictable.
Isn't even in the starting 11. Is he even on the bench?
Technically, he actually isn't even registered to be in the Premier League, but he's technically still on Manchester United.
Holy cow!
And I go Phil Jones. I know he's a meme, but my gosh, that guy will do anything to put his head in front of the ball.
So you're thinking more it's like you're just scared for your own life.
Yeah,
because you don't know what he's going to do.
Dude, that dude would literally like go on the ground, and I literally every time I watch him play, he always gets up with a busted head, so he always has to have like a bandage on his head or something. And I'm sure you've all seen like that video clip of him and Giroud where he literally flops to the ground and tries to get the ball off Giroud's feet with his head. So I'll go.
This is your scariest dude.
Yeah, I'll go Phil Jones, right center back.
Oh my gosh. This is weird, but I really want to say Sead Kolasinac. Like, he's not a center back though. But we also in this formation don't have like a left back.
Yeah.
So you know what? Back. He's converting for this match or for this formation. I'm going to say Sead Kolasinac because he's one of those players that will kind of be there for his team, so he'll protect them like physically, and then also I feel like he's just one of those players who I feel like will be very physical with other people. Like that's just what he's known for. So that kind of physicality would kind of scare me. Like he's the guy who would like tap a player or like give someone a knock just to like show he's there. And I feel like that kind of stuff is like a little not dominating, but like a little what's the word? I guess just scary. At least in my head, it's like I never want to like face a crazy guy. Whenever I'm playing striker, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I purposely go the other side of the pitch just to like avoid that player. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna beat the other guy and hopefully get to goal. Like I don't want to have to mark that have that guy mark me. So that'd be my pick.
Okay, all right, and then I guess for the last center back, I'm gonna go with Phil Bardsley.
Phil Barnsley, holy cow.
That guy, every time I see him play, just looks like he'll just rough you up pretty badly. I think it was one of these games. I can't remember exactly, but he's just one of those guys that will just get up into your face and literally is not afraid to be rough against your players. And if you're Manchester United, one of the bigger teams with like a star player, that's the last defender you want to be seeing playing against your team because that guy will literally do anything to stop anyone. So I'll go Phil Bardsley.
Phil Barnsley. All right. He's always been there too. He's like, he's just going off. I just realized I completely forgot about Pickford in goal. That guy literally injures other people.
I sense a little salt in that one.
Yeah. But all right, we'll move on.
Okay. So if we're doing 3-4-3, what position should we pick next for the
I feel like center mid would probably be like the easiest in terms of
Okay.
picking players. I don't know why. I just feel like physicality kind of scares me. But that's being said, I picked Kepa in goal. So, for the scariest center mid that I don't want to face. If Scholes was still here, I'd pick Scholes, but he's not here.
Wow.
Let me think. I don't know why I keep thinking Dyer.
Yeah. He'd run to the bathroom on you.
Yeah, he ran to the back. He just doesn't care. But I don't know. Would I pick Dyer? I might have to. Like, because he just has, like, I don't know. It's just something about physicality kind of creeps me out. Or not creeps me out. But it's just like, I don't want to face that. It's just like, I'm scared of injury. And I feel like the player that's most likely to do something wild or maybe be flared up by temper would be Eric Dyer. Because like sometimes, like we've seen historically in previous games, he could be a player that's influenced by someone else trying to like, you know, prod him off or like trying to get him angry. So I'd pick Eric Dyer.
Okay. I respect that. And then for, I guess the next, because we're running 3-4-3. The next midfielder I would pick to run in like the center of the park, I would go Oriol Romeo for Southampton. That guy is another one of those guys that just like you mentioned with Eric Dyer, one of those guys that could be kind of hot headed and also do kind of a lot of crazy things. But he is a very physical center mid too, and I've definitely seen when I've watched Southampton in the past, I've definitely seen him put some challenges that I would say have definitely gone his way. Basically before VAR, he's definitely done some naughty challenges back in the day. So that guy is also another one of them scary midfielders where it's just like best to avoid.
Jeez, Oriol Romeo.
All right. So what would be our next?
Next, all right, I'm going to go right mid because I have one player in mind. I think it's going to be a little different. It's going to be more in the Kepa route. But I'm going to have to say Lamela.
Oh, that guy sucks.
Because
that
guy just plays dirty. I think the dirty players are also people that I'd be scared about too because you never know what they're going to do. They're going to like poke your eye out. They're going to like fake an injury. They're going to find a way to get you sent off. Like, it's just these dirty players don't really play by the rules. It's kind of like Sergio Ramos for Real Madrid. They'll do anything to just win the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lamela does something crazy and does something that would be a little out of the books, a little like, and the unspoken word of what not to do as a soccer player. I feel like he might break that. So I'm a little worried about that. So I pick Lamela.
Okay. And I guess he'll play right wing back.
I just say right mid. He just never tracks back.
Okay. All right. If we're going that route, then I'll also do the same thing on the left side. I'll go Gucci, Saint Alan Maxim for Newcastle.
Saint Maxim.
Yeah. Because I know we've been going more of like the dirty player route, but this guy, when he's on his day, he is just terrifying to play against because the guy literally has a bag of tricks. The younger version of Zaha, just with the amount of tricks he can do, because I can't tell you every time United have played him, that guy just keeps going past. Like literally there's one time 4 United defenders were on him and he just does a couple skill moves and gets out of it and opens up the play. And for me, he is one of those players that when he's on his day, is just not a fun player to play against because he just has so many skills. He's just too many skills. So I'm going to go Saint Maximum.
That is, I didn't think about something like that.
Yeah, so
I would never thought Saint Maxim.
Yeah, as you can see, this team is definitely not gonna be
very good
defensively
going in. It's like one side is very different from the other. But let's see. All right. So now we're in the front
we got
three.
Our 4. Yeah, now we gotta get the front 3. So
oh my gosh. So I honestly wanted to bring someone from Burnley into the starting 11 somewhere, because Burnley, I feel like, play a lot different. They have a lot of physicality on their team, and there's something about them that they can disrupt any other team because of just the way they play. Like, this physicality is just something that you can't really train for. It's just ingrained in the players that Sean Dice has brought in. So I would say in that, I wanted to, but like when you look at Ben Mee or like look at Tarkowski, it's like, like too mean. But if I want to include one Burnley player, I might have to just put it as striker. I might have to say Chris Wood.
I was thinking that Chris Wood is he's a big guy.
Yeah, he plays a lot different from most other Premier League players in that he just kind of runs over everyone. He's like a tank. Like, he's like the big Kiwi from New Zealand that just manages to shoulder his way through everything like the Incredible Hulk and get his headers in, his ways on the end of crosses, like that stuff, like that fearlessness to get into like a header in without like fearing like busting a head or like losing a tooth. I'm like, I do not want to defend against something like that. And the fact that he's like 6'4" or something like that, it's insane.
He's a huge man.
He's a big man. So I would say, since he's like the Incredible Hulk looking kind of guy, I would say Chris Wood.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Since we already picked striker, I'm not going to pick a backup striker, but I was thinking Jamie Vardy as striker because he is
put him at right wing.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say with left wing, I was going to pick. I'm sure you might like this pick, but I'm going to go Sadio Mane at left wing. I don't think there's another player in the Premier League that is as unpredictable as he is and as good. With not saying unpredictable is a bad thing, but unpredictable as a good thing, because the amount of times I've watched him where he can literally pull off a skill move, you literally don't like. He's not someone that's going to do the same thing over and over and over again. So it just makes him so unpredictable. And the goals he scores, he's fearless. I've seen him, basically go in for headers all the time. I remember that Ederson. Thing, he just doesn't care. Like, he'll go for the goal if it's there. And he's literally another player with a bag of tricks on him. So against any defender, I'm always fearful because he can literally, he has magic in the feet. He can do anything he wants when he has the ball.
I see you have like a correlation between like skill move and pace.
Yes.
And then your fear of them. And then for me, it's like just. Yeah.
when it's in, I know it may seem like a FIFA thing, but in real life, when they can do that, it's very hard to stop those players in real life when they can really get going.
Yeah. So I guess in real life, when Yash faces someone who's really fast and skillful,
I have no chance. I'm slow.
You have no chance. But when I face someone who's like 6'5" and can like shove me to the ground, like that's what scares me. So like,
I think that's where because I'm like 6'5", 5'11", and I'm like, I would say like I'm not like jacked or anything, but I'm a little bit like, I'm not some skin and bones, But when it comes to the faster players, I just can't keep up. I'm so slow. So it's like when I face people that are fast and quick and are nimble, that can move around or skillful too, I got no chance.
Meanwhile, I'm like the skinny 5'7" guy. So I'm like, and I've been injured before from like, actually, no, I've been injured more from like the smaller players. Yeah, actually, when I think about it. So maybe I should pick a smaller player for the final piece to our team at right wing. Gosh, this is difficult because it's not that many wingers that play dirty. Like, there's just, I want to cheese and put like a player that usually doesn't play right wing there.
Yeah.
It's ironic because we talked about him and I want to put him there. You know what? I'll do it. I'm going to put Dele Alli there.
Dang.
Because that man has also been kind of bad-mannered too and bad-tempered when when the going gets tough. Like, we've seen, there's like gifs of him like flicking off the ref. When he's getting subbed off, he throws a water bottle like across the bench. Like, it's just like little things like that. It's just like when a player's out of control, that's when it's kind of scary. Like, you can be bad and cause injury like Xhaka, but like, but when you have like control and then you just lose it and you just go mental, Like that's also what scares me because like that's how I've been injured before too. Like just someone just goes crazy and just like steps on my ankle. It's like, bro,
that's wild. Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's scary. That's pretty scary.
So Dele Alli at right wing, that's also scary because it's like, why is he there?
So that's basically our team. And forgot one last pick, the manager.
Yes, the manager.
Yes, I don't think there is another person we can really pick for this one. I think you all know. Has to be, for me at least, has to be Jose Mourinho. There is not another manager that causes firestorms like he does, or entices, or basically creates such drama
Chaos
around his team than he does. I don't know another manager that will actively go out of his way just to cause more drama. And he's just one of them. And it's worked for him. So for me, he's the scariest manager. He's one of those guys, even just taken away from that, when he comes to a big game, you know he has a game plan, and you know most of the time it's probably going to end up winning. And it's going to be so boring to watch, but he's going to find a way to win.
Yeah, I have to completely agree with you, Yash, for Jose Mourinho, the pure chaos, the fact that in past El Clasicos, he's been the guy to punch players in big like fights and things like that. So, you know, there's like little things like that. And then also the fact that he just is not scared to just throw people under the bus as the manager. It's just like, what the heck? That's scary. Like, I don't want that. I will have to say like that 11 we got plus manager, that's pretty good. I would say like we don't really know where we're going with this since we had like we're just going to be talking this through on the spot and on the pod, but I'm kind of glad with our starting 11. I would not want to face the starting 11. I don't think anyone would want to. Yeah. I would say honorable mention that would make the bench would probably be John Joe Shelby.
Oh my gosh. How do we, and I forgot about Guendouzi too.
Yes, I was also thinking that.
Yeah, but honorable mentions.
There's a lot of honorable mentions in there because we got Voldemort with John Joe Shelby and then freaking Guendouzi. So we'll see. But there's our starting 11. And hopefully, if any of the listeners have their own scary starting 11, or maybe a player you think should have made it into our 11, let us know. Comment.
Yeah.
Let us know on Twitter. That's usually where we're always active. So put it on our what's it called? Mention us or just DM us, something like that.
Yeah, definitely put it out there. We want to know. We want to know what you have, what you guys have to say in terms of your starting or scariest starting 11. But that kind of transitions us to our last special section. We don't really usually do this last section all too often. It's meant for more of a special episode. But one thing we wanted to kind of story time, I guess. Scariest story playing soccer. And for me, I will say I'll put it out. I haven't played competitive soccer in like a high school or club level. Mostly every time I played is just with friends, just kicking it, like just having a normal kickabout with the mates. Just mainly just, passing the ball here and there and such. But whenever I have played, I think probably the scariest is going back to the short and nimble players. I was megged. Shout out to one of our listeners and friends, Raj Johnny. He's a great player, but I do remember this one instance where we were playing on the IM fields. So we typically always played on this short little quad. And when we're talking about short, it's not how long would you even describe it? I can't even.
It's how many? 50 yards.
Yeah, very, and like we don't even use up the full length. Like it's very short, so we play like very short, quick. Don't have to use a lot of energy getting back and forth. But there's one time we played in IM, so it required a lot of energy. We actually had to stay in position some sort of way, But the ball, someone on Raj's team had played the ball, like a long ball, over the top. And, I was coming towards to get it. And then Raj was also getting it, and the ball was coming down. And the ball came down, and I thought I had enough room to get it off Raj. And then he just goes, swoop, like a little, just megs it past me, and probably the cleanest meg I've ever seen. And I got megged. So, but that was literally probably one of the cleanest megs I've ever seen. And it was done to me. It was almost Messi-esque, where it was just so nonchalant. And for me, that's probably the scariest thing that has happened to be on a soccer pitch.
Wait, your fear is embarrassment.
Yeah.
What?
I try to be low key, I try to be low key about everything, but man, when it gets embarrassment time, I'm like, dang, this sucks.
Yash has no fear. He just the scariest thing was getting megged. What? What on earth? Well, Raj, I guess you've struck so much fear into Yash that your Meg has traumatized him to this point. Holy cow. I did not know this. Well, that makes sense for why you picked all skill players, because that's basically what Raj is. In the meanwhile, I guess I would have thought your scariest moment was when we were watching soccer in our dorm, like Reed Hall. Shout out to Reed Hall at UGA. And Yash was just screaming after Manchester United came back and just beat PSG. And then he was just screaming, just laying on the floor. And then a resident director comes down, like resident hall director, like literally from her office comes down and just starts like telling us off. She's like, I'm gonna threaten to like kick y'all out. It's like you can't be doing this. And then we're all just standing there, and then Yash is just still screaming. I'm like, geez Louise. I'm not much of a rule breaker, so like getting told off like that scares me.
I pulled that down. I was like, come on, it's in the middle of February, and I just saw one of the greatest comebacks, like one of the most unlikeliest comebacks in the last minute. I was like, I was on cloud 9 that day. I think we had to record a podcast episode that day too, right?
Yeah. You're still buzzing from that.
I know. I think I didn't have a voice that day too.
Yeah, it was a very what's it called? It's like scratchy voice because it's just gone. It's just like it's just from all the screaming. Dude, I guess that's not even scary either. It's just funny.
Yeah, that Champions League season though, that brought me back. The comeback. That was the season of comebacks that time.
What the heck?
Man. That was fun. Sorry, that was a bit of a tangent, but that was great.
That was a tangent, but for me, I guess my scariest thing is also related to why I picked the players I picked in terms of like physicality, because like the scariest thing that happened to me was also around just playing soccer on the quad, because like we'd be playing with friends that weren't too experienced, and sometimes they just lose control. So one player in particular, don't want to say any names, but we all know who. He jumped and then landed on my ankle.
Oh
no, he didn't. Oh no, that was prior. So I had an IM game, and then someone jumped and landed on my ankle, and I was already like a little sore from that. And then when we played Reed Soccer, someone on our Reed Soccer squad was trying to like clear the ball or like deflect the ball from me taking a shot, and then he went full swing and kicked my standing leg ankle, the same one that was already like out. And I was like on the ground. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I was toast.
That's painful. Yeah, that's painful.
Oof. And I was very scared that like I tore something or like something was clearly gone, because like I was like, I should not be experiencing this much pain. Like this is.
Ooh. Was that studs up, or was that like a little toe tap?
Well, when I got stamped on and previously, it was from studs, and then I just never really recovered from that. And then when I got kicked, it just escalated it. So it was like a double whammy. And then I was out like the rest of the season. So what happened was like after I got hurt, I got so scared that like I Googled my symptoms, and I was just like, dude,
that's when it goes downhill.
That's when it goes downhill, because then you go on WebMD, and then it's like, oh, you have like a torn ACL. And it's like, but it's in my ankle. And then it's like, but like all the symptoms make sense. It's like you can't stretch out your leg straight. Like it's just pain, like throbbing pain all the time. And like usually people get this injury from doing this, or this. And I'm like, frick, that literally fits all my boxes. And then I gave myself a panic attack. I was just on the ground in my dorm, just in a sweat. I'm just like, I can't, no, because it was my senior year during my second year, or my second semester senior year. So like my last semester at UJ, I was like, I do not need a torn muscle for my final semester. But it turns out, and that same day I had a midterm, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got a cram for the midterm. I was just like in a pool of sweat, just on the floor. So I was just laying on the floor for like 2 hours, just thinking I had a torn muscle. And then I managed to like recover after I took a nap while on the floor. And then I managed to like get through the exam, and then I went the next day to like the health center and then got it x-rayed, and it was like, no, you just got it sprained. So I was like, oh, thank goodness. And then I had to go through physical therapy after that because of just how it was a pretty bad ankle sprain. But
Dang, I didn't know I didn't know you could actually get an ankle sprain from someone just kicking your ankle like that.
it was pretty bad because like it like hyperextended or like something like that whenever like when at impact. I was like, oh geez. And the reason why is because like it was just a lot of collateral in terms of just not working out as much, and then that. So I was a little scared.
Did the person at least get a red card in the IM team?
No, like the ref didn't even say anything. So I'm like, all right.
Oh, you should have been like, ref, check. You did check.
I screamed. I'll say that.
What did the person even come and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. Sorry, bro.
No, he didn't say anything. He just left. I'm just like, that's why I'm scared of out of control people that don't know what they're doing. I'm just like, bro, they're just gonna injure someone, and then you're just out for the season.
Gosh, that is scary. I'm not even gonna lie. That is scary. Gosh, that does suck though. Dang.
Yeah, injuries scare me. So that's my fear. Just injuries and disease. Things you can't really control.
Oh, well, I guess side topic, one thing I have seen whenever I have played soccer, the worst thing is more of like a pet peeve or like a worst thing that happens is when you're playing without nets and you accidentally kick it too far and then you just have a ball that rolls and rolls all the way to oblivion, and maybe eventually make it hit by a bus. So I definitely do have some bad memories of basically whenever we play soccer and we're playing with people that don't have constraints in terms of their shot power, and they just shoot it as hard as they can. And the ball either hits someone or is in the process of hitting someone or rolls down a large bunch of stairs. And then it sucks because you have to go retrieve it, but it also sucks because you don't know what's going to happen to that ball once it reaches a certain point.
It's like you don't know if you're ever going to see that ball again or if you're going to break a window. I'm surprised we never broke a window.
I'm surprised about that too. I'm actually so genuinely shocked that we actually never legitimately hit someone by accident too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people walking around the quad that are just trying to get to their dorm.
Could you imagine just walk in after a long day of class on Friday and then bam,
and a ball out of nowhere slaps you in the head?
I'd be so mad.
I know, I'd be mad too. That'd become my scariest moment. It'd be like, oh gosh, imagine getting hit and then the person just hits the floor. It's like,
that's scary because now you don't know what you're dealing with. What have we just done?
It's like, oh gosh. So you don't want that, but geez, we have a whole other story about losing a ball to a bus, but we should save that for another pod. That's a sad story. We don't need to end the pod on a sad note. We got some. That's
just funny because I think the chances the chances of that actually happening, like the bus hitting the ball at that time, it literally, because you know how hard it is for a ball just to stay there when it's rolling on the ground, right? Mm-hmm. It just rolls, or it's just going to move around. The fact that it's
long story short, Yash is describing a time we're playing with my soccer ball on our quad, and then someone kicked it onto this. Yeah, no, it was a MLS like replica ball, but like someone kicked it onto the street next to the quad, and then a UJ bus ran it over, and it was caught on drone footage. This is a very long story, so we'll save this for another pod.
Yeah, that just brought back some memories. That was funny, but gosh,
it was sad.
Yeah, sad. But those were our scariest stories playing soccer each. So hopefully, you got some entertainment value out of that. But quickly onto our last section here is just our typical preview section. The games here this week are pretty decent, I would say. The first one, Liverpool, West Ham. This one's going to be interesting because, as Tyler said, Liverpool are basically on academy players at defenders right now. West Ham have been trending upwards. So, what am I saying? I'm still going to give Liverpool are going to find a way to win. They'll win 2-1.
I was gonna say that exact scoreline. I really think Liverpool will find a way to win against West Ham. West Ham are surprising though. I will say that. David Moyes, like what the heck?
He's going off.
He is going off, but I think Liverpool will remember him being at Everton, and that that will be enough incentive to make sure West Ham don't get the win.
Yeah.
I
Plus,
think
like,
Liverpool will come through. And I think Reece Williams, he played in the game against FC Midtjylland in the Champions League. He did pretty well, in my opinion. I thought he did really well. So I have faith in him. Hopefully it comes through. And I think with Firmino also scoring last week, I think that's some good juju right there. I think we can pull through 2-1 as well. It'll be close.
Yeah, we'll see. But then we have Leeds versus Leicester. Leicester picking up a surprise win against Arsenal, which they didn't even play that well in. That's another story. Leeds, obviously, with Bielsa, high power, high press, high energy. Leeds at home. You know, I want to lean towards Leicester, but I actually think I think this game will probably end up a 1-1 draw. Yeah.
Leeds also beat Aston Villa last week, an undefeated team that's overperforming, in my opinion. But Leicester lost to Aston Villa.
Yeah, they beat Arsenal, but then beat City.
That's true. And like, if you think about all these things, it's like if this team beat this team and that team beat this other team, it's like
makes no sense.
A never-ending loop. So you never know. That's kind of how it is in soccer. But for this game, I don't know. It's I want to give it to Leicester. I really do. And you know what? Just to not have the same scoreline as you, I will say Leicester win this. I'm going to say 2-1.
Wow.
Another 2-1.
Okay. That's a pretty decent pick. I mean, I was leaning towards Leicester too, but I think the game will finish in a draw. But okay, we'll see. And then the biggest game of the weekend, hopefully it doesn't stink like Manchester United and Chelsea. We have Manchester United versus Arsenal. I'm going to go with a 3-1 Manchester United win. I think Marcus Rashford is firing. I think Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, all finding form. Fred and McTominay. Fred is looking like a beast right now at center mid. Alex Telles, unfortunately, was tested positive coronavirus, so he's still trying to recover from that. So he won't be in the squad. So it'll probably be Luke Shaw again at left back. But yeah, I think United can win this game 3-1 at home, especially against an Arsenal side that did not look good last week against Leicester. So I'm gonna go 3-1 United.
I'm gonna go 8-2. No, just kidding. But this game. Last week, I was saying Man U Chelsea is going to be a pretty good game. And it was a lot of hype around it. But as we mentioned at the very beginning of the pod, it was just disappointment. And so far, Arsenal has been kind of going the opposite of most of my predictions this whole season so far. I've been given a lot of benefit of the doubt, but so far, it's just been letting me down. As if I am an Arsenal fan during these previews. But for this one... based on just what's been going on this season, whenever we see like a big match, it's never really panned out to be too big in terms of scoreline. So I am tempted to say a 1-1 is the highest it'll go. And
yeah, I know.
That's what I'll go with. A 1-1.
I agree with you. The big matchups have been kind of bad.
Yeah.
When it comes to like the big top 6 teams. It's been
like 1-0, 0-0, 1-1. So I think it'll be a 1-1.
Yeah, that's probably a good scoreline to go for. I'm going 3-1 because why not? Just go for it.
It is your team.
Yeah, it is my team. So I want to see him win regardless. So I'm always going to go for him. There's been very few instances I've gone against United, and you have seen them. It's been when I've been so low confidence on them. And when you are a fan of a team and you go against them because you just have a feeling that that's going to end up true, that's when you know it's pretty bad. But
yep, it's like Liverpool fans in the end of the Rodgers era.
You just expected something bad to happen.
It's like, Fabio Barini and Ricky Lambert are strikers.
Slim pickings there. Lazar Markovic.
Laser. My guy. Where is he now?
I don't know, actually.
That's the spookiest thing of them all. Where is this man gone? He's just vanished. Doesn't even exist now.
Oh man, but yeah, that kind of wraps up episode 94. We hope you guys enjoyed this spooky rendition of the the podcast, the Premiere Pod. But as we always say, if you're on iTunes, please consider giving us a rating on iTunes, because on our Apple Podcasts at least, because it helps us out. But of course, if you listen, that's more than enough for us. Thank you guys so much for listening. But yeah, please make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, follow us on our social media pages at the Premiere Pod. But that wraps up episode 94, the Spooky Edition, part 2 or 3. Part 2, right?
It is year 3.
Yeah,
I'll say. So we'll just call
part
it 3.
Okay, we'll just call it part 3. Seal it right there, the trilogy. But thank you guys so much for listening for this episode. We greatly appreciate it. But yeah, kind of does it for us. Peace.